Hello everyone and welcome to CIS120, Introduction to Information Systems. My name is Dr. Ann-Janette and I will be your instructor in this course. This course is all online, so I wanted to provide you with a video introduction to myself and some information about the course so that you would get off to a good start in it. So first of all, I'm an assistant professor of computing and data analytics here in the College of Business and Economics at AU. My office is in the Vandiver building up on the 3rd floor, room 306. I have an open door policy, so you're welcome to stop by anytime, but I won't necessarily always be here. So the times I'm guaranteed to be here, you see there for my office hours, but feel free to reach out to me to book an appointment with me to be here at any other time through my booking link you see there, and you can email and call me as well anytime you have a question or would like some help. But I'd also love to just put a face with a name since you are online and I won't get to see you in person otherwise, so feel free to drop by. The slides that I'm sharing with you right now are available in your Canvas course in the intro module. You'll see intro slides. You can download these and get this same information, and this is also in your syllabus as well. So lots of places where you can keep track of all the information I'm going to share with you here. All right, so first of all, computer requirements for this course. There is not a requirement that you own your own computer, but you will need access to a computer, either your own, or you will need to plan to make use of one of the computer labs on campus. There's a lab here in the Vandiver building, room 101, and there are also computers available in the Student Center upstairs and somewhere in the library as well. And I believe all of those have the apps that you need for this course. A lot of students like to use the lab that's available here in the Vandiver building. And I'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. If you are going to use your own computer, you will need to download the Microsoft Office apps that we'll use in this course, and there is a link in the intro module to help you with that as well. So I won't say more about that here, but you just need to make sure you download the apps that we need for this course onto your own computer if you're going to make use of that. All right, a little bit more about the lab. The Vandiver Computer Lab is open and available from 6 a.m. till 2 a.m. every day. But for you to be able to get in there and use it for your own purposes, you'll need to come when classes aren't in session. Most days there are classes in there from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They don't go quite as long as that on Fridays. And there's some open times during the day on Thursdays. There's some notes about that down at the bottom of this slide you can see. But students sometimes like to get in there in the evenings or on weekends to do work. So if you would like to do that, you need to have extended access added to your AUID card. And I have to request that for you. I sent an email about that pre-term, but you can find that and reply to it, or just send me a new email saying I need extended access. And I'll turn in your name to campus security, and they will add that access to your ID card so you can get in there during extended hours. However, on Thursdays, not only will you have extra access to that lab, but there will be a person in there to help you. So if you aren't able to meet up with me at a time that works for you, Mr. Harv Bird, another instructor who teaches this course, will be there on Thursdays during the hours you see. And we have a student worker who will be in there Thursday evenings to help you as well. So that's some free tutoring if needed. You can avail yourself of that. So there are lots of ways for you to get help, even though you're in an all online section of this course. So let's motivate this a little bit. Why do you need this class where you're learning how to use Microsoft Office? Well, I know that most of you probably in high school, schools typically use the Google suite of similar products, Google Docs, Google Slides, and that's what most students have experience with. But I want you to check out this site called ONet Online. It is a place where job information is collected, job postings by employers all over the country, and then statistics are generated about the job postings. One of the things that they look at here is what kind of technologies are employers looking for. And at the top of the hot technologies list is Microsoft Office. And the 3 apps you'll learn in this course, Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, are all at the top of the list. Millions of job postings actually specifically name these apps. And the ones that don't name Microsoft, they at least say something like word processing or presentation software or spreadsheet software. And then it turns out that they actually use the Microsoft one. They just don't name Microsoft in the job ad. So you knowing these tools and being able to show that you are proficient in them will definitely give you an advantage when it comes time to look for internships and co-ops and jobs. So we want to prepare you for that, but also you will be using these tools in all of your classes here at AU, in the College of Business, and in the other programs as well. You will make use of these tools. So I encourage you to check this site out. This is kind of fun. Also, you can put in your major or a specific job title into this little search box, and you'll see information about job postings in that area. And then if you look at one of those, click on the links for the different jobs, you'll see geographic regions for that job, pay ranges, what kinds of requirements are there, what skills are needed, what kinds of technologies. So it's really a good source for information. And if you want to just check out some different jobs that you might like to have, it's kind of a fun site that I recommend you go play around with. So let's go back to the presentation now and look at a little bit more about this course. So along those lines of thinking of what technologies you'll be learning here, you will also have the chance to earn credentials, and along with those, you will earn badges. Through SimNet, the learning platform, you can earn digital badges, and those prove that you have demonstrated proficiency in the various apps that you're learning. So you might earn a yellow belt badge in Microsoft Excel. And then once you've earned a badge, you can post that on your LinkedIn profile. If you haven't done that yet, you'll be encouraged to at some point in your time here. And you can use that to network with potential employers and other people in your field. And so this is better than just saying on your resume, I can do Excel, because everybody says that. But having a badge sets you apart, because an employer can then click on that. They know that you had to demonstrate a certain level of proficiency to earn it. And then when they click on it, they will get a list of skills that you had to master in order to earn that credential. And so it is just another way of setting yourself apart from all the other applicants to a particular job. So it's really worth pursuing. And I encourage you, as you're working through the assignments in this course, to really give it your all, because you are building a set of skills for yourself that will really help to distinguish you once you hit the job field, but they're also going to serve you well now as a student and make your life a lot easier. If you're trying to complete an assignment, it's better if you already know how to use Word and PowerPoint and those things than spending your time figuring out the tool. You'll get to just focus on the content of your presentation. You'll already know how to use PowerPoint. All right, so a little bit about the types of assignments in this course. So first of all, there's 3 major groups of assignments: homework, independent projects, and tests, and you can see the weighting of each of those. The textbooks that we'll use, there's not a physical textbook. There are these online learning platforms, SimNet and XPrep. Those are available to you through the Canvas course. Whenever you see a link to an assignment, you just click on that link and it takes you directly to one of these platforms where you will do your work. The chapters of the textbook are also provided through SimNet as well. So everything is accessible through those Canvas links, and that's automatically available to you through the Trojan textbook program. That's just part of your fees, so you don't need to buy any textbooks to be able to do what you need to do in this course. These should be available to you on day one. If they are not available or your links aren't working, let me know as soon as possible. Okay, so the one platform one of them that I mentioned is SimNet. That one has a variety of different types of assignments that you'll do, but they basically fall into two major categories: sim paths and projects. These two main groups of assignments, they are a little bit different. So there are some additional videos in the course that I will direct you to when needed for how you complete these types of assignments. And so I'll let those videos teach you how to do that. But I just want to point out for now that they are done a little bit differently, and you will need to look for those videos to help you before you try to complete one of those. All right. Beyond that, those different categories of assignments also have some differences in purpose and how the course policies apply to them. So homework, that is designed for you to learn. And so you can use any resource, including each other. You can get together and work through assignments together. However, if it's a project, you will have a file that you have to download. And those files are personalized. It has a digital footprint that is just for you. So you cannot submit your friend's file for your assignment. It'll either lock you out and say you can't submit it, or I will get a notification that makes it look like you have cheated. So you cannot submit someone else's file. You also cannot copy and paste from the internet or someone else's project into your own. You won't be allowed to submit that either. So make sure that even if you work with another person, you do your own work in your own file and submit your own work. All right. Independent projects and tests are a little bit different in that you will do your own work in those, but you also should do that without the help of classmates. And so you're going to submit your own work in those. And but what is true for all of these is that there are multiple attempts available. And I think that that was mentioned on this page, the previous one. All the assignments, all the projects have multiple attempts available. The guided projects and independent projects are not timed. The capstone projects, which are tests, are timed. And the reason for that is that for all of our hybrid students who have to take their tests in person, there is a time limit. And so we want that experience to be the same across the board. So those assignments are timed, so you don't want to start that until you are ready. You do have multiple attempts still on the capstone projects, but you must complete all 3 attempts within the designated time limit. One other thing I failed to mention about the sim paths, there is a pretest that is timed, but the pretest is just designed to see how much you know before you even learn anything about the particular app you're working on. So if you already know a whole lot about Microsoft Word, then you'll have a chance to demonstrate that in the pretest, and then the lesson will be tailored to just the things that you missed in the pretest. So your final grade will be based on the post-test, and you have multiple unlimited attempts at that, actually. So there's no reason not to make a 100% on your sim paths. And for all the projects, there are 3 attempts at each of those. So in every case, there's always the chance to improve your grade. The limiting factor on that will be how much time you put into it. All right, one other thing to mention here is the late policy. All the assignments in the course are open on the first day of class all the way through the end of the term, but there is a due date. So if you don't complete the assignment by the due date, you can still complete it after that, but there will be a 10% late penalty. So I encourage you to do it on time, of course, so that you get full credit, but that's there to give you some flexibility because everybody gets overwhelmed once in a while, but don't let things snowball. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. If you get very behind, it's very difficult to get caught up because there are a lot of assignments every week, and they just keep piling up. It doesn't go away or get any easier, and you can get to a point where you just cannot catch up because you've let too many assignments go by. So do your best to just stay on top of them, and then you'll get the most points that way as well. Okay, about the course calendar, you'll see that we're covering 3 main apps in Microsoft. We're covering Word, PowerPoint, and then Excel. And this just gives you an idea of the flow of the term. This is all subject to change, but that's the basic flow. You can see we're spending most time on Excel than on the other 2. And the reason for that is Excel tends to be a little more challenging for students. It's typically new to you. You haven't had experience with spreadsheets possibly before now. So that's conceptually new. And there's a good bit of logic involved. We get into having to write formulas and things like that in Excel. And it takes some time to wrap your head around that. Also, that's where we will introduce the XPrep platform, and that will be new, and we'll do additional assignments in both SimNet and XPrep at that point. So we'll do more work and spend more time on each module once we get to Excel. All right, and that final Excel capstone test, that will count as your final exam, but that's just included in the test type of assignment as far as grading goes. So it is not a separate portion of your grade. It just counts as a third test. It's not any heavier weight than the other 2 capstone tests. All right, so that's about it. But just to let you know, this first week, you're going to be completing some graded assignments. There's an intro assignment just to get you even more familiar with the course and make sure you complete some initial things to get you set up for success. Part of it you have completed already just by watching this video. And then there are a couple more graded assignments that you will do just to help you put some organization in place to keep track of your assignments and where those things are. File management is an important one to, if you are not using your own computer, you will need to make use of a flash drive to save your work on, so that if you have to walk away from that lab computer before you are finished with an assignment, you can save your work to the flash drive and take it with you and then bring it back to the lab later to finish up. You don't want to lose the work that you've done while you've been sitting there. So if you don't have your own flash drive, the College of Business will make those available to you for free. I have them in my office. You can email me and set up a time to come by and get a flash drive that you can use for this course. So make sure to take care of that and get your graded assignments done this first week, and you will be ready to go this semester. So I pray that you will have a great start to this semester, and remember that I am here to help you anytime. So just feel free to reach out for help. And I hope to see you soon.